Hey,
How's it going?
good. How are you?
Barely surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I'm in this transition with moving and everything, and my brain is absolute mush. And I know that's normal. Like, I
hmm
know that that is a normal thing for people to experience when they go through big transitions. But I feel like I'm struggling with it so much, like mentally and emotionally, in a way that I don't know. I feel like maybe my husband isn't struggling in the same way. Or like
Yeah.
a small example is that the the movers came and they brought like all of our stuff, and which obviously is great, and they didn't bring all of our stuff. It's actually only half of it, so there's 5 crates out of the 9 that we have. So we have like the ottoman of our couch, but we don't have the rest of our couch. I have like the legs of my desk, but I don't have the top, so like the legs just have to sit there. Like random stuff, like the drawers of a dresser, we got the drawers but we didn't get the dresser.
It's like the opposite of everything. Like I would rather have the couch,
Yeah.
ottoman come later. I'd rather have the dresser, the drawers come later.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's annoying because I imagined that once the dumbbell rack, we got all the dumbbells, but the actual rack to put them on didn't come. It's like,
Mm,
I would rather have the rack because then I could put it in its place. Then when the dumbbells come, I just put the dumbbells in their spot. But
yeah.
now the dumbbells, up to 65, 70 pound dumbbells, are just laying on the ground. And that means we have to pick them all back up and move them. Little
Yeah.
things like that. But we did get a dining table, so we have that now. There's boxes everywhere of things we can't unpack because we don't have dressers to put them in.
Did you get the chairs for the dining table? Or is it just the
We
table?
did. We got
Okay.
every chair and the entire table, all the legs. I was like, wow, that's actually quite a miracle.
Yeah.
So things came, but now it was like just as I was starting to feel, granted, we had a mostly empty house with just essentials, but I was like, had kind of some stuff away. Everybody's kind of sleeping on the floor on a mattress. It's fine. We're organized, we're routine. And then bam, truck shows up, and now everything's back, like worse than it was because there's boxes everywhere. And it was funny because my husband said, and I'm like struggling. I'm not remembering anything. I am like, in some ways, hyper focused and planning certain areas. Like I'll be standing in a room just quiet, staring. Donovan's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm literally just envisioning what it can look like if I do this, that, and the other. And but in other ways, I'm just like completely. And at the end of the day, my husband was like, "It feels so much more homey now." Like he was in a good mood. He's like, "It feels so good to have our stuff." And I was like, like I was like felt like I was on fire because there was all this stuff visually, and I couldn't, like, I
Yeah.
don't know what day it is. Am I supposed to be doing something right now? Like I don't know. I just go like I can't handle it.
hmm
So it's like, and then in my mind, I'm like, do I need like different medication? I'm like doing all this, but it's like, Jamie, you're out of routine. Like everything's different. Like get through this. So I don't know. For some reason, I get way
Yeah.
in my head about things,
It'll get better.
and then everybody's around all of the time. You know, something that I have been thinking about is how do people. I was a teacher. I was somebody who always, like, people are always like, oh, you're gonna have like 10 kids because you love kids. Like I am a kid person, but how do people who homeschool have their kids around all of the time?
I don't know.
I have no idea. You're a little different. You've got like extenuating circumstances on top of that. But I
Yeah.
don't know how people have them around. I guess you really do have to like really rely on routine, but I feel like I barely get any time or space to myself. They're
Yeah.
fighting or complain. That's the thing too, is that like it's that mommy effect where you get kind of the best and the worst of your kids. So
hmm
like everything I say is a complaint, like what's for dinner? And I'll say it like, oh, I don't want that. And it's like it just kind of tears you down after a while,
It's
constant
exhausting. Yeah.
complaining.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the complaining as much. Caleb is very he used to be everything. It used to be everything I said. It didn't matter what it was. He was going to argue with me about what it was. Now he's not like that. He rarely ever does.
That's so
He's just kind
nice.
of like so chill and go with the flow. So he's pretty easy. But Jules needs constant supervision. So
Constant,
she's
yeah.
exhausting. Like
Yeah.
I can't do anything. I like she's always ever since she ran away that one day.
Uh-huh.
I am always like, is the door locked? Is the door locked? Is the door locked? Like it's always on my brain. Like it should never happen again. Although I can't be everywhere at once. And there have been times where I think I was outside with her, maybe something. We come back inside. Caleb went out into the garage, so he unlocked that door and he never relocked it. So then I'm like, I was doing something, I don't remember what it was, and then I come back and I'm like, where's Jules? And it wasn't that long of a time, but I'm still like,
Yeah.
where'd she go? Where'd she go? And I'm looking through the house. I don't think she's outside because, because I had locked that door. So I was like, no, she's not there. So I'm looking all around. I can't find her. All of a sudden she comes inside with a bag of frozen blueberries. We put them out there so
Oh.
uh, she doesn't find them. So she went out into the garage. Luckily, didn't run away.
Oh my
She
God.
just wanted some blueberries. And so I had to like tell Caleb, you can't do that because I can't be everywhere all the time and I can't constantly, I lock it so I don't have to worry about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about when she figures out how to unlock doors?
It's like it's very hard. It's like
Like a specific child lock or something?
yeah, it latches. So you can't open it this way, right? So it's like in front of the door. You can't pull the door open, and you have to pull it and then open it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to pull it and then move it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's for this specific
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah,
Yeah. That's exhausting.
it is,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like but
Yeah.
but obviously not. I'm not moving right now, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It kicks my butt, and it always does. Like this is like our fourth overseas move now, to and from. So second total move, but yeah, fourth overseas move, and it always kicks my butt. And I always forget like how badly it kicks my butt. But it's all right. They go to back to school. I'm like counting down the days. I'm like, okay, August 13th. The kids, their cousins in El Paso already went back to school. I think you guys go back at Labor Day.
yeah, we go late.
That's crazy.
Which to me, our schedule makes so much more
It.
sense than everybody else's.
When do you get out of school?
The like summer, the first day of summer is summer
Which is
vacation.
like the end of June?
20th, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Which is it makes so much more sense to me because August is summer still. Why are we
Yeah.
going back to school? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like our schedule better.
It does make more sense, but at this time, currently, I'm very glad it doesn't start in September.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go with that. August 13th. I love having my kids around, but I also just like am exhausted by them.
Yeah, I understand.
And maybe because I'm so hyper focused on routine, maybe like if I did homeschool and we found a very solid routine that we really stuck to in a schedule, I'd make it work.
Yeah.
I think I could. I have the skills to be able to do it. I just, in these moments, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what the F? Oh, we also have two puppies. I mean, I'm like forgetting what I'm going through and I'm beating myself up for it. And I'm like, oh. And then I was laying in bed last night and I was thinking about like, do you ever do that thing where you're like, what if I have cancer? And you can't sleep.
No.
I'm going through my mind like, but I don't know. And like, I got that Korean health screening, but I opted out of the gastro screen. And what if I have stomach cancer? And like, I don't even appreciate my family. I'm like, what's wrong? I just need to wake up and tell them how much I love them and everything's great and life is good.
No.
Okay.
I've never.
I feel like that's something that Laura should do. That sounds like something that aligns more with you and not so much with me.
Really, that's exactly. No, I'm more like, oh crap, did I do that thing I was supposed to do? Oh, like I'll just think about, oh, tomorrow I have to do this, tomorrow I have to do that. So it's just like that kind of stuff. Not, do I have cancer? No.
Yeah, I had a headache for 2 days in a row, and I rarely get headaches, and I couldn't sleep because I was thinking, what if I have brain cancer? And I was Googling signs of brain cancer.
That's immediately what headaches mean, that you have brain cancer. Because it can't be anything else.
Yeah, and I was like beating myself. I didn't write letters. I was supposed to at some point write letters to my kids in case something happens. So then I hadn't done it. And what if I wake up tomorrow like dead from the cancer, the brain cancer?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. No. I got some Q&As.
Okay. I got some topics too.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
A friend reached out with this question for me, and this is a friend who I would say she's interested in being healthy. I think most people are, right? But she doesn't lift. She has dumbbells and she tries to get into routines regularly at home, and she often falls out of them, but is always kind of looking for ways to like incorporate healthy habits into her life because she has a really hard time like doing new things. So I'm saying this for a reason. This is a friend who's very much a fan of like habit stacking. Like if I'm already doing something, is there a way I can tweak it to make it more in line with my health goals? Because I know myself, and if I try to get in the car to go to a bar class, like I'll last like 2 weeks. Or if I try to implement this thing, it's just not likely. So what can I attach to what I'm already doing? I know I should be strength training because bone density and all this stuff. This is a friend whose mom has had a hip replacement. She's 40 also. So she was at a book club with a bunch of her friends in the neighborhood, and they were all going off about this thing in the fitness industry right now that is the hot new thing. And they were saying it is so good for bone density. Everybody should get one. And so, of course, she comes home and texts me. I was like, what do you think about this thing?
Oh
It's
no.
apparently great for bone density. Like, what is your opinion on blank? And do you have a guess?
No, I don't.
Weighted vests.
Oh, that's like the new thing. Everyone
It's
has
the new
weighted
thing.
vests.
Everybody's talking about weighted vests. And she was like, all the girls, all the women at book club were talking about weighted vests and how good it is for bone density. That was her statement. And I was like, I have issues with that statement.
Why is it, why do we do everything except the things that work the most? Why do
Right?
we try to find all of these other gimmicks and things to do when we know what works? You just have to do it.
That's what I was like. That was the statement. They said that a weighted vest is amazing for bone density. I said, I'll tell you what's amazing for bone density. Strength training.
Yes.
Any way that you strength train, if a weighted vest takes you from body weight to added resistance and now we're building muscle and strength, then yes. But you're going to cap out pretty quick because you're just basically increasing your weight. Like, so
Yeah.
you'll cap out and that's going to happen very quickly.
How do you feel? Like, I think weighted vests aren't like a bad thing.
No,
But
of course
how do you
not.
feel about them like over time? Do you think that's like bad for your spine to be walking around with all that weight on it?
That's
If
a
you
good
do,
question.
I
I,
wonder.
I, I was thinking about that. So I'll say my general opinion of weighted vests is that, again, and this is where the nuance comes in. I'm not dissing it. There's
Yeah.
really like not a lot of many bad forms of like physical activity,
Yeah.
but strength training is the literal best proven thing you can do, even a minimal maintenance amount to improve your bone density. It has been proven. There are not studies that prove that weighted vests improve bone density. However, it does logically make sense that if you don't normally walk and you're going to start walking with a weighted vest, yeah, you'll notice improvements, but it's because you went from nothing to walking, not because you added a weighted vest. If
Mm-hmm.
you normally walk and then you add a weighted vest, you're going to be adding load, and therefore you're probably going to get a little stronger hips. You're going to get a little bit of muscle mass, a little bit of bone density increases. Logic would tell me, based on my experience and everything, that would cap out pretty quickly unless you continue to increase the weight of the weighted vest you're wearing, which most people are not going to do.
Yeah.
Does it help you increase your calorie burn a little bit? Sure. Would it help somebody who doesn't actually want to run, but they want to sweat a little bit more and burn more calories while walking? Yeah, that'll help with that too. Like there's things that a weighted vest can help with. But I said to my friend, if the goal is improving bone density, because this is what this conversation is geared, oh, this is amazing for bone density. If the goal is increasing bone density, that's not what I would choose. Like you should be strength training.
Yeah.
And her reason was, well, these friends that in this thing were saying that, and my logic, I was like, I should ask Jaime, but also if I know I should be strength training and I know I want to, and I've tried to implement it and I will and all this stuff. But if I'm already walking and I just throw on a weighted vest, would that be something I could do to maybe improve where I'm at? Yeah, probably. Yeah, you already walk all the time. Add a weighted vest.
Yeah. It's just, I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I can't think of one, of like trying to do something and instead of choosing the thing that's actually going to make the biggest impact, you choose all the little things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, it's like the analogy I do sometimes with the jars, with the big rocks and the
Mm-hmm.
sand. And the
Yeah.
big rocks are what are going to make the difference. But and the sand is all the little stuff.
Yeah.
And if you start with the sand and pour the sand into the jar, the rocks won't fit. You literally physically can't fit those big rocks in. But if you start with the big rocks, they all fit. And then when you want more, you add in the sand, and then the sand and the rocks both fit in the jar. And
Yeah.
weighted vest is the sand,
Yeah.
right?
It's not really, yeah. It's not going to make a big difference.
It's not. But I think I ultimately think, and this is what I think about everything, identify what the goal is. What's the goal? Write it out. Is it increased bone density? Okay, let's start with that. Increased bone density. Okay, what are the pathways to that goal? We have the most optimal pathways, and then we have some others that might improve it. And then from those pathways, then pick one that you're going to most likely stick with. If resistance training 3 days a week for 20 minutes is the most optimal pathway to improve bone density, but you're not going to do it, and the alternative is to sit on your ass, then yeah, we need to pick one of the other less optimal pathways. And a weighted vest might be that.
Yeah.
But it's always like awareness. Like you have to have awareness of what you're doing. Not like, oh my God, have you heard this weighted vest is great for bone density? And everybody's throwing it on thinking they're going to. No, and I think that's what like grinds my gears.
I've just seen it's like very trendy right now. Weighted vests.
Yeah. And I can't imagine they're cute or comfortable. Oh, you had asked about the spine thing. Like would it eventually.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you have bad posture, right? But does that just mean that a heavier person would?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I would have to look into that because that's something I think of, like having that weight there.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you're strengthening things, so it should help over time. But still, you're putting a lot of weight on your spine that isn't normally there. I don't know.
Yeah, but what if somebody just gains weight?
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be a hack. You don't want to buy a 10-pound weighted vest, just gain 10 pounds. That's how you improve your bone density.
I like weighted vests for like, I don't have one, but I want one for pull-ups and push-ups and things like that.
Yeah. But why a vest in those situations? Why not just the chain for the pull-ups or like putting a plate on your back for push-ups?
The plate on my back for push-ups is like that. It just like, it's not, it slides. It's not like the easiest thing to do. Yeah. And the thing around my waist I do that for the weighted pull-ups, but it's very uncomfortable. And I hit myself with the weights in my knees and stuff. And
it's probably because you're not very good at them.
Yeah, that's what it is.
At like staying stable. And you're just floppy.
No, it's not while I'm doing the pull-ups. It's like when I'm walking around trying to get up there.
I was just kidding, but okay. Yeah, I know. When you're walking, I like to swing it. But the thing about the weighted vest, though, is yeah. We're both kind of like acting like we're moving our hips. The thing about a weighted vest in those situations, though, isn't it just one weight? You can't like add weight and decrease weight from it, can you? Actually,
I don't know. There might be some. I think there's some you could put stuff in the.
That would make more sense.
Pockets.
Instead of having like a vest for 10 pounds and a vest for 15 pounds.
I think you can add weight to them.
Yeah,
there's probably different kinds. Yeah.
It's funny. It's like we all, I'm thinking about it now. We're all like massively trying to lose body weight. And then we're like desperately trying to add body weight so we can walk around with more weight on us to improve bone density. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to lose weight, but let me put on 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay. Speaking of trendy, this is something I've been seeing a lot. I don't know if you've seen this.
What a good transition.
Yeah. And it could just be me seeing this. I don't know if this is actually trendy because I know the weighted vesting is definitely trendy right now.
Definitely.
But I feel like this is also a trend is walking backwards on the treadmill. You see people doing this a lot?
Uh-huh.
And this is one of those trends that actually has some like science and some benefits behind it. It's kind of like similar to like a sled drag, like a backward sled drag.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you strengthen your VMO, which is your teardrop quad muscle, which is really good for your what?
That big, no, not the main one. The little one. It's not the main one. That kind of connects around your knee, like the inside of your knee.
It's on and it's really good for knee stability. Mm-hmm. So usually when people have knee problems, you want to strengthen that muscle. It also strengthens your patellar tendons and things like that. So it's really good for people who have knee issues, and a lot of people swear by that. Walking backwards on the treadmill helps your knees. Have you tried that at all?
I mean, I've walked backwards on a treadmill, yes. But normally just because I'm being silly, not because I'm like trying to actually. But I mean, when you're walking backwards, you're using more of your quad, and when you're walking forward, you're using more of your hamstring. And then if you're walking, it's kind of like if you're walking uphill, you're using more of your hamstring. So if you incline, so if you're walking flat, you're probably pretty even. But if you incline the treadmill, if you're walking uphill in any way, you're using more and more of your hamstring and glute. Whereas if you're walking downhill, you're like using your quad. So it's kind of like a similar, more
Yeah,
of it.
people do this. A lot of people do this on an incline backwards.
Yeah, that would make sense because it's like
Yeah.
hiking uphill, you're using your. Sometimes if I'm hiking uphill and my hamstrings are killing me, I'll just turn around and start walking backwards to shift it to my quads.
Mm.
But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, I don't know, do you have studies on it? Does it actually?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any studies, but I'm pretty sure it's the consensus that it does help. It's just like backwards sled drags. People say the same thing. Like it's very good for your knees to go backwards like that. Because of the way you're doing it.
Yeah, because when you have a client with knee pain, the things that are going to help it are quad exercises, but the range of exercises they can typically access because of the knee pain is like limited.
Yeah.
So that's actually a good way to add that in. So I have a client now she can do leg extensions and she can do squats, but it starts to hurt. So we do like a very wide, like sumo squat and pushing the knees out. And that seems to be good.
Yeah.
And she's doing straddle leg lifts. I'm trying to think of things to like, it's hard to come up with exercises that really work the quads without hurting the knee at the same time. So that would be a good thing to add in.
Yeah, because it's very low impact. And like one of the benefits of sled drags is that you're not like, there's no impact. It doesn't stress your body out the same way. You are not like putting a lot of pressure on your knees when you're doing it, with a squat, you're squatting down. So it's a very good way to add that in. I like to do things on the treadmill like that, where it's like I shut it off and I move it manually.
Yeah.
Move it manually. So it's kind of like, it's not the same amount of resistance as you would with a sled, but I don't have enough room for a sled. So
is that bad for the mechanics of the treadmill?
I don't think so. The other thing I do, which I haven't done in a while, but I probably will when it cools off a little bit, is I put my daughter in a wagon and I'll pull her throughout because she's pretty heavy. Yeah. So I'll pull her around in different ways. I'll drag her, I'll pull her. Yeah.
But I used to do that too when my kids were in wagon. I would pull them in different directions.
Yeah. And there's a big, like the third row down, it's a big hill. So getting her up and down that. Going downhill and uphill all have different benefits. So
yeah. That's cool. I like when you're thinking about stuff in that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And she likes it. So
of course. Yeah.
You want to talk?
Thanks for the idea.
Yeah. So if you have knee pain, try that out. Do you want to talk about some studies?
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay. The first one is about supplements. So
talking about sand and all the little stuff.
Yeah. So you know how we mostly feel about supplements. But there was a study done in 2023, and there's more studies like this. This isn't the only one that has the same conclusion or similar conclusion. But they studied 57 supplements by different brands, whatever. Can you guess what percentage
get absorbed? No.
What percentage actually have the thing that the supplement said is in there?
No. It's a very low percent because they don't have to be regulated by the FDA, so they could literally put anything on there. You can say there's dandelion root in something and it won't have
It's not in there.
It's just not in there. They made it up. What percentage of the supplements studied had the thing, any of the thing?
Any of the thing. So not the amount that it said, but just any detectable amount of it.
What percentage had any detectable amount? I'm going to be really pessimistic and say 10%.
Okay, that's really low.
I told you, I'm be really pessimistic.
So 23 had no detectable amount of the main ingredient. So that's
of the 57.
So that's 40%. So 40% had none of it in there whatsoever. So they're selling you...
Oh, wait. When I said 10%, I meant 10% had it. So I was saying 90% didn't have it. And you're saying 40% had zero detectable... Okay.
Yeah. So, I asked you the question in reverse. So 40%, so 60% had at least some of it in there, if you want to reverse it. So if they're selling you, like you said, dandelion root, there's not even any in there.
I wonder if is there any way to screen for that? Like, I guess, is that where it comes from? Could it be like buying protein powder? Yeah, it could. I'm asking this question. It could be like buying protein powder and it's actually just like Nesquik.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucked up.
I'll get to it.
Okay. All right.
So another 7 had less than 10% of what they said in it. So over half, 52%, had like basically none in there, because 10% is a very low amount.
Yeah.
It gets worse. Okay.
Oh.
7 more had at least one FDA banned substance.
Interesting.
So there's things in there that aren't even legal.
Yeah.
To be in there.
Yep.
And then can you guess how many had within 10% accuracy the things that it said was in there?
Like 0?
6.
6 of 57.
Of 57.
Do they list the brands?
They don't.
Damn.
They don't. And these were, I looked at the chart though. There's a chart, and I looked at like the banned substances and like all this stuff, but it was mostly sports performance things, so a lot of pre-workouts and things like that. But there are other studies that show the same thing with regular supplements too. So what does this mean? It means that you need to buy supplements, and I do this. I do not buy a supplement from anybody unless it's third-party tested. Mm-hmm. If it's not third-party tested, I won't buy it, because you don't know what you're getting. You don't even know if the thing, you're probably not getting what it says is on the label. So brands that are third-party tested, like that's why I love Legion. Yep. Legion is my favorite protein brand, and they sell other things too, but they are very reliable in that way. Another one that is very like inexpensive that I like to use for certain things is bulk supplements. It's very like like they come in bags, so it's very like low, like there's no like fancy label and everything, so it's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
I don't like things in bags generally because they're a pain in the butt, but like Legion now puts their protein in bags. I miss the tubs.
Oh, so I do like a tub.
Yeah, I still have my old ones and I'll dump it in, but it makes a little bit of a mess, you know? So anyway, fine. So make sure when you buy a supplement that is third-party tested.
How can one make sure that something is third-party tested?
You could go to their website and find that stuff out.
They usually advertise it. Those supplements, they want you to know.
And it's probably going to be more expensive, which because they have to do the testing. Mm-hmm. But I would rather pay more money than pay less money for the thing that isn't even the thing. Another thing I do is I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll be like, hey, I want to try out this supplement, not a specific brand, but like say I want to try whatever it is. Can you find some brands for me that are third party tested and blah, blah, blah. So that's another
a great
thing.
Use of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I do stuff like that with it.
Well, it's also a lesson in, yes, third party tested, but also maybe get as much as you possibly can out of lifestyle and Whole Foods before you go the supplement route.
Yeah.
Because so many people are wooed by things that they see. And this is another reason not to, because not only are they probably blowing smoke up your asses about what it does, but they're blowing smoke up their asses about what's actually in it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's just grass powder. It's not actually anything that you think it is. All right, give me your study.
Okay. So this is going to be a metabolism study. I don't know when this one was done, but it was recent. And it's like the biggest metabolism study they've ever done.
Nice.
It was on 6,421 people.
Nice.
So a very big sample size.
Yeah.
Right? Men and women. That's important. Mm-hmm. There's men very and important. Women. I don't know what percentage, but...
Were they humans or rats?
They were humans. No rats in this study. And they're ranging from 8 days old to 95 years old.
What?
Yeah. So it's all years, studying all of the years of what your metabolism is, right? So basically they're studying, if your metabolism decreases as you get older, like people say, when you hit your 30s, blah, 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 right?
I already know the answer to this study.
What is the answer?
The answer is it actually doesn't really. I mean, I think it's high when you're young. I would say I would think it's very high, and then I think it levels out and it doesn't go down. I think it was past 60, 62 is when they start to see small decreases. It's not even like a big drop off.
Yeah, that is what it says.
Great.
So
Thanks for coming to the podcast.
yeah, so it increased from 0 to 20, but you're getting bigger. So per pound,
Yeah.
it was more when you're little, but the actual amount of calories you're burning is higher up until you get to 20, and that's the peak, right? So per pound, it's more, but yeah. So 20, you're at your peak, but you stay there in the same amount. It stays steady until you're 60. And then at 60, it starts to drop about 0.7% per year. So by the time you're 90, it's 26% slower than you were at 60.
Do
And
they have any correlation to loss of muscle mass at that time?
so they adjusted it for body size, fat-free mass, and sex to compare apples to apples.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, and they noticed that menopause didn't make a difference. Didn't
Yeah,
make a
I
difference
know.
in the amount of calories you burn. I would
Go ahead.
assume it has to do with muscle. It has to do with your fat-free mass and your lack of activity is
The
the reason.
reality is, and this is hard for people to swallow, but also if you actually stop and think about it and understand it, it makes sense. It's not that your metabolism goes down, it's that there are a lot of other physiological things that are happening that cause your calories to go up. It's not just that you're eating more and you need to have more self control. There are things that are happening that are causing you to want to eat more or causing maybe some, ways that calories are being absorbed and not absorbed. Like there's things going on, but they're all pretty controllable.
Yeah, and I think it's more lack of activity than you eating more food.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other. Yeah. Things that are causing you to eat, but things that are causing the imbalance in calories is
Okay,
essentially
yeah.
there's physiological things that are causing an imbalance in calories. And sometimes it's as simple as you're eating more and you're moving less. But sometimes it's also like there's things going on that are causing you to burn a little less. And maybe you could say that's metabolism, but it's not just your metabolism going down. It's things you're doing to your body or your lifestyle or
Yeah.
lack of sleep or maybe hormone. There's things that can be like accounted for in lifestyle and behavior, etc.
Yeah, and a lot of people start losing muscle. What did we say the last podcast? There was I forgot at what like around 30 or
It's around
something.
30.
Yeah, people start losing muscle, so your metabolism is going to drop
Yeah.
if you're
But it's not a huge amount. Remember there's studies that show that like the just having muscle on you, it does improve your metabolism, but it's not as much as like people tend to talk about.
yeah, it's not it's when it comes to comparing muscle to fat, no. There's not like a big difference.
I still think it's the process of building muscle, the
I think
signal.
so.
And I think there's still not really studies that really talk about this or point to it or study it directly, but there's something about the process of intentionally building muscle and strength that I'm telling you it improves your metabolism.
It does because it used to say like 40 to 60 calories per pound of muscle. Then you find out it's like no, it's like 7 or
Yeah,
something.
something really small.
But dude, like how many people have you had that are strength training and all of a sudden they can eat like 500 more calories?
Yeah.
It's
And it's
a
not
day.
just from having the muscle, it's from
building
building
it,
it.
building
Yeah.
it and repairing it.
Because if it was just having it, then I'd be able to do that right now, and I can't. But it's
Mm-hmm.
when I'm on track with the building and repairing of and strength, and yeah, that's when I can eat a crap ton of calories. And
I mean, just think like every time you do a workout, you're tearing your muscles, right? And then your body has to repair or grow more
yeah,
muscle. That's got to take a decent amount of
sure.
calories, I would
Logically,
assume.
to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm doing enough to maintain my muscle right now, but I can
Mm-hmm.
always tell it's actually kind of annoying because the times, I think I said this before, the times where I want to eat a little bit more uncontrolled and like just really enjoy myself are usually times where I'm on vacation or I'm in transition or like things like this. A lot of times it's because I'm leaving the country I lived in and I want to eat all the good things before. But those are also the times that I can't be consistent with my strength training. And so my hunger takes a big drop and I just can't eat that much. And
Hmm.
it's really annoying because, and then if I do, I'm overly full and I start to like get thick and it just doesn't feel good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, if I could just be really like hardcore strength training through this time, I could like devour this food and it would be fine.
I think it's good to have periods of that, though.
It's also good to know that, to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like awareness is the key to so many things.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I have a couple of cues to round this out.
Okay.
I feel like, so I have three.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how long we talk about them. And it's funny because I find myself when I'm looking through them, I'm like, oh, that's, we've answered that before. That's simple. But there's never like too many times to talk about things in different angles in different ways, right?
No, and even if we've talked about it before, who knows if everybody's listened to every single episode we've released.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes that's a good reminder because it's good to hear things over. Because some people don't learn things the first time you say it.
No.
They need to hear it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the first question is, what's the best split if I'm only going to work out 4 days a week?
Upper lower.
Yeah, I like upper lower.
Upper lower.
But there's a lot you could do. So of course I go off the deep end because this is such a simple question. So my first question is like, okay, 4 days a week, how long do you have? And is it only 4 days a week? Let's say it's an hour. Is it only that for strength training, or does that have to encompass strength training and cardio?
Yeah.
And so like that, there's all the different ways. But if we're just talking strength training, I like upper lower. I think it's the best. You hit every muscle twice a week, which has been shown to be like the best, frequency for hitting it for growth and all that stuff. But you could also you've done 4 days a week before.
I do. I've done full body.
Full body, 4 days a week.
Full body. I love that because I don't like 5 million quad exercises in one workout. I rather spread that out over 4. And I don't feel like it really, like I can do it multiple days in a row if I'm only doing like 3, 4 sets, if it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. I also could see, and this kind of depends on what your goals are and also what kind of enjoyment level you have for different types of exercises. Because with 4 days a week, you could also do 3 full body days and like a conditioning day, like a metabolic conditioning day, or some kind of higher intensity cardio or some kind of blend.
Yep.
There are probably still plans circulating out there that would put it into a leg day, a chest day, an arm day, but I would not suggest doing that. No. That is very old school.
Yeah.
Proven to not be the best. Is it going to be better than not doing anything? Absolutely.
Yeah. Right now I'm doing 3 full body and a power day.
Yeah. See, there you go.
And then a sprint day, but we'll pretend I'm not doing the sprint. I'll just say I'm doing 4.
Yeah.
If I was doing 4, that's what it'd be. Or I could add the sprint to the power day.
Yeah. I like that idea of like throwing in power. So again, it definitely depends on your goals. There's lots of ways that you could structure it, but simple answer is upper lower.
My workouts right now are freaking long though, because I'm doing full body, 3, only 3. Yeah. They are so
How long did it take you?
1 hour and 45 minutes.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
I would not do that. I wouldn't do it. I would never do that.
I wake up at like 5:30.
I would not do it. I would cut them down and have 3 days a week of an hour. That's what I would do.
I just to hit everything. Right now I'm eating more food, so I got to get that volume in, and I'm doing hypertrophy right now.
Yeah. Get at it. I just literally wouldn't because I don't think I can
It's hard to stay focused, but what I do is at the end, I'm getting the kids ready. So I'll do a set. And then I'll run inside and I'll do her hair or put her clothes on or whatever. Then I come out here and I do a set and then I run inside. So it makes it take a little bit longer, but really it's about the amount of time I would be breaking anyway. But that breaks up that to where I don't get bored. I'm not bored. I feel like I'm running back and forth, kind of like you were just saying about the waitressing thing. It's like anyway.
Yeah. I hear you. All right. One more. Do you I'm trying to pick between these two. Let's do pros and cons of gastric bypass.
You go. I don't know. You go.
So a little bit of ignorance might come with this because my first question, because I actually do know somebody who is in the process of going down the route of gastric bypass.
I know somebody who's had it done.
Had it done, yes. I've worked with many clients who've had it done, so I can definitely tell you the cons. But my first question for somebody who's going through it currently is why? What does gastric bypass offers that Ozempic or Wegovy doesn't? That's my question. Why would you opt for surgery when we have these shots that apparently work really well? So
Yeah.
that's a question I have.
It's, yeah, go ahead.
And I could ask this person. It's a sensitive topic, so I think at some point I'll be able to talk about it. But I wonder if, for some people, I know that the side effects of the shot are they really take them out. So I had a client who she would have to get the shot every week, every 2 weeks, and the first 3 days she would have such intense nausea she had trouble getting off the couch. So imagine having your period every month is annoying enough with the symptoms that you might experience, but every 2 weeks having 3 days of like nausea for the rest of your life, or however you plan to stay on this, whatever it is. Because for this particular individual, weight has been a lifelong struggle, and she is to the point, and I'm not going to argue whether or not it's true or not, but her truth is that she's to the point where she can't do it completely on her own and sustain it forever. She's tried, she's been down that route. She needs a permanent solution. So is it taking the shot permanently, or is it getting gastric bypass, which to her feels like a more permanent solution? You go through one, surgery and it's over, and then it's a permanent solution. So I could see that being a reason.
But
for
it's
somebody.
like major surgery.
Yeah, but it's not that major, actually.
No.
I think they're so quick on it. She already had it done. She was out the next day and like shopping.
But I know there's a lot of risks with
There
it.
are. And similar risks, I would say the cons are similar to any rapid weight loss, whereas there's usually a large loss of muscle because people don't, they don't really do it correctly. They're not focused on trying to build or maintain muscle in the process. They're just so hyper focused on losing weight, which can be dangerous. And it's hard to rebuild muscle. It's so much harder to rebuild it than it is to maintain it. The other cons are that it doesn't always like last. So I had a client who had gastric bypass, and even though she couldn't eat a lot amount at a time, her habits were still so poor that even with not being able to eat a large amount of food, she still gained back all of the weight. And now she just can't eat large amounts of food. So now that she's it was interesting. We were trying to change her habits, and I was like, you need to substitute the peanut butter and the things that were like very high calorie. Cause she'd be like, oh, I eat these things because they're higher calorie, but like, I don't eat as much of them. We need to eat more salads. We need more whole foods. She literally couldn't fit it in her stomach, but yet she needed to eat those things for nutrients because she needed to improve her health and her weight and all of this stuff. And like gastric bypass didn't help that long term.
Oh.
Now she just has a smaller stomach.
So I thought your stomach could still expand.
And it can still expand. I think it's uncommon for it to expand back to what it was.
Yeah.
But it definitely stretches and still it can expand.
Yeah. I feel like this would be now that Ozempic is here, I just don't think it's the best option.
But again, if you're having side effects, maybe. And I'm making that, but I don't know if that's her reason. Yeah.
For those
Some people have really like side effects that just are like, oh my God, I can't sustain this. I can't keep this up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. So there's definite cons to gastric bypass. Pros, I mean, it could help you lose weight. And if your weight is literally a limiting factor in your health, that could be a pro. However, that pro can come laced with a ton of cons that could be dangerous if you don't manage them properly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. Have anything to add to that?
Not really.
Cool. I very much
I just want people to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Eat whole foods. Like that's what I want people to do. I really
sympathize with people though that feel like that's the option that they have to go to. Like I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that's like. And I very much do sympathize with it. And I don't want to say for a second that I understand or that that I have these opinions on what you should do. That's not my place. For people who go down that route, you've had to have gone through a lot. But I would say be very, very cautious and very, very careful. And I would really suggest for any time you're exploring a rapid weight loss, whether it's surgery or Wegovy, like talk to a dietitian, talk to a personal trainer, find the good ones, and really talk about all of these things. Don't just go to a doctor.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you. If you like this, please leave a comment and a 5-star review. We would appreciate you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.